Okay, so remember, guys, it's not between the lateral epicondyle and the olecranon.
That's my fault. Yeah.
No, not only you.
We have it
Hey, guys. So somebody did this last time.
Me.
Fake news. This is propaganda.
That was neat.
So you gotta go in between the medial epicondyle and the olecranon right here. That's where the ulnar nerve lies.
54.
Oh,
Feeling it?
just once.
Okay.
That's good.
And then let's give it to the other side. On the
Oh,
sorry, more right here actually.
And do
On the
you,
carpal tunnel.
do you need to kind of squish the hand a little bit or no?
No.
Okay. Good.
So did you do the medial collateral stress test?
Well, it's just the medial and the lateral at the same time. So it'd be medial collateral stress test, lateral collateral stress test.
Yes. Tennis elbow
Tennis elbow?
and golfer's elbow.
Okay, so let's do tennis elbow first. So just make a fist, and you'll be doing it like this. And tell them to extend at the wrist. That's tennis elbow. Is this you?
You didn't even notice
No, I didn't even notice. Okay, and then go.
Pain, right? We're looking for pain?
Yeah, for pain. Pain at the elbow.
Phelan's test.
Oh. 60 seconds.
50 seconds.
That was there for the whole time.
And we're looking for pain or neurological or both?
Both.
Same line.
Both. Okay.
And then is your toenail sign your carpal tunnel, the one on the wrist?
Kind of did that, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Did
right
that
here.
already? Okay.
Yeah.
Then Finken's belt. Finken's belt test?
So guys, remember this is tenosynovitis, not tendonitis. Like this. And there should be uncomfortable pain. If it just feels nice, that's fine. You're just stretching it, but this should be uncomfortable pain.
And you have to push it.
Next one
Yeah.
is Allen's
Just-
test.
Sorry, what was that one?
Allen's test. So
Oh.
compress at the radial side and on the ulnar side, and make fists, and opening, closing a fist 7 times. You go a little bit faster if you want. Look how white his hand is already getting, though. Hey. And open. And let go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still white there. Still white. There you go. It's about 9 seconds this time. So it needs to be under, was it 6 seconds?
6, 7,
3.
6.
Under 3?
Yeah.
Oh.
What is it? You know, what is it? It says that, eh? Wow. I'm surprised I'm still alive.
Just wait a month.
Gonna slip something into my drink, aren't you?
And that's as far as we got.
No one would know. Okay.
It's like and then we're just the radial side, same thing. So just
Megan, the sad things. Nobody would care.
let's just count the radial. Oh shucks! Go again, go again.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Performance sign?
Fromason. Can I have a piece of paper and then open? And this is the radial side. So you do the exact same thing on the radial side, and you have to have it under 3 seconds. If the blood does not come back within 3 seconds, if it's over 3 seconds, then there's a positive sign for Allen's test. So check bilaterally. Check the radial side and ulnar side.
I'll get up for this one so it's easier to see.
Why don't you do it on me?
Which one is that one, sorry?
This one's performance sign.
Foreman side. So he's gonna pull, and if I can't hold it, that's always a positive sign. The other positive sign would be signs of compensation. So if I'm doing this with my thumb, so pull. There you go. That's a positive. Now pull again. If I can just remain contact like this, flat thumbed, then that's a negative.
The next one is Patrick Faber test.
Faber's test.
Yeah.
Okay, so on your back. So again, in the book, they have the knee, they have the leg over top of the knee. We don't teach it like that. We just do it like this, and then we try to get the foot to the table. So you don't have to do this. And quite frankly, sometimes this is actually painful for some people. So go like this. Put your palm on the aces, and the other hand on the medial portion of the knee, and open up. If there's pain, that's a positive sign.
The next
And
one
check the other side as well.
is hip flexor leg.
Oh, nope. You want to get your knees off the side?
Oh, sorry. Yep. Like this, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yo yo. Oh yo yo.
Don't
Okay.
have room.
No, I have room. I can make it work. Like this. Grabs the knee, pulls it to his chest. Leg rises, and then you tell him to extend in the knee. He extends in the knee and the leg falls. That's rectus femoris. If it doesn't fall, then it's hip flexors. So if it stays like this, it's hip flexors. If it falls, rectus femoris. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah. But which one is that one?
The next one is modified Uber test.
Uber.
Which one is that one?
Yep, yep,
No
yep.
recuerdo. No sé.
68.
Page 65.
65, sorry, yeah.
Which one, sorry, Tennille?
Modified over
Modified
test.
Uber's test. Uber test.
Uber.
Modified Uber? Okay. Can you get it on your side?
No, modified.
Like this?
Modified.
Steady. Yeah. So grab the leg like this, and make sure they don't fall off the table. You want to straighten out your leg,
Straight leg.
and then see if you can get at least touching the table, or even better, past the table. If it can't touch the table, if it can't go past the table,
TFL.
it could or it could actually also indicate contracture in the IT band. So if a person has a contracture in the IT band, sometimes what can happen, you let go and the leg will just stay like this. The IT band won't let them go any lower.
Is that to say TFL, as I want to include IT bands?
It could, because sometimes it could be just TFL, sometimes it could be the IT band, sometimes it could be both. And sometimes actually it could also be QL. So this, to some degree, is also a QL stretch. If their QL is very tight, it will not permit them to do this. So it's hard to say. But either way, it'd be a positive for a modified Ober's test.
Eli's test.
Eli's test. Wanna go face down? Again, most people actually, what I've noticed, they can't get their heel to their glutes. A lot of people can't. Now they're actually saying that 110 degrees suffices. That's fine. But I still think it'd be good if you can get their heel to their glutes. But, however, if for example, you're trying to bring the heel to their glutes and suddenly their hips start rising, as is Brandon's right now, before the heel touches the glutes, that's a positive sign that the rectus femoris is tight. And what's happening is actually rotating the pelvis anteriorly because it's pulling at the rectus femoris. It's pulling on the ACES, and it's doing basically this. So he would be a positive.
And that will be the hip flexors?
This would be rectus femoris. Or quads, if you will.
The next one is the QL length test.
QL length test. Okay, I'll get you to sit up, my friend.
This.
Yeah.
Those here far down?
You have to laterally flex the torso, basically. Basically do a side bend like this. If they can do that just fine without their, while remaining contact with their glute on the table, that's fine. You want to get at least past 20 degrees. If the second they start tilting this way, their glute starts rising off the table, that's a positive sign that the QL is tight. Where is the QL attached to?
12th rib and the iliac crest.
An iliac crest. Well, also the transverse pros. But yes, the iliac crest. So if it's tight, it's gonna start pulling the iliac crest with it. Therefore, the glute is gonna come off the table. So you want to get at least 20 degrees of side bend, with the glutes on the table. If it does it before that, then yeah.
The next one is abdominals strength test.
Okay, I'll get you on your
No,
back.
I remember that one. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I usually start off right from
5.
yeah, and then I work my way down. I think you do.
5 was the hands.
Yeah.
Here.
So put your. Ay ay ay.
But
That's very.
Okay, so sit up.
That's kind of good. No?
Is that a positive, guys? No.
Well,
So
what?
Isn't there 5 stages or 5 degrees or something?
Well, that's the one. If
You
do
lifted
that,
your
I mean,
feet.
you're the
I'd say
last-
yeah,
that's
that's a yeah. Okay, and the next one's like this. No, wrong,
No,
wrong.
No.
Sorry?
This.
Oh, like this? Okay.
Yeah.
But you went to the last one.
Get it right.
I went to the most difficult one, row
Yeah.
5. Yeah, yeah.
So when you wanna go,
oh,
I start off from the highest one,
Thanks, friend.
and then I work my way down because it saves time. Because if they can do a level 5, they'll just do it right away. Rather than if you start from the bottom, you have to do several tests.
but he's gonna get tired for doing those.
Maybe give up. How did you do?
So
Oh,
what's
this one?
strength?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. No. Okay.
So
Uh,
it's positive or negative?
That's negative. He has to keep his feet on the table. This one's level 3, grade 3. There you go. That's a positive.
Do you go to the gym?
Not as much as I should.
I'm just joking.
And then grade 2, from what I understand, is if they can get at least halfway up. Grade 1 is if they can at least engage their core.
I got a question.
Grade 0 would be basically they can't engage in
That's for the
Yeah.
abdominal obliques, but that has nothing to do with us massaging. We're gonna make it straight. It's just-
Well, you know what? A weak core oftentimes is contributed to anterior pelvic tilt. So, I had a client who had really bad anterior pelvic tilt, and guess what? She had a very weak core. So I told her, go home, do some planks.
Go. I'm not massaging you.
Yeah,
Go home.
get out of here.
Get going. I'm playing.
No, but honestly, like a lot of back issues are predicated on a weak core. So you can quickly do this and be like, oh, let's see how. Oh, you got a weak core. It's never good to have a weak core. It's always good to have a strong core in most cases.
Next one is anterior drawer sign.
Okay.
Sit up.
What
Or no,
about
perfect.
sacroiliac joint motion of breathing test?
Let's just do anterior and posterior together. So hands like this behind the knee, and then the thumbs on the tibial tuberosity. Anterior drawer sign, you're pulling to you, towards you, like this.
That's anterior drawer sign.
And if you see a slippage, that's a positive sign. And then posterior would be you pushing into the client like this. So this would indicate issues with anterior
Yeah.
cruciate ligament, ACL. This one, PCL, posterior cruciate ligament.
We should just call it.
And we already had a positive in this
Tammy's
class.
test. We're just gonna call it Tammy's test.
Okay,
Now, mine was anterior, right?
yours anterior, so ACL, yeah.
Posterior sag. Oh,
And
we
well,
just
you know what
did
we
that.
could do posterior sag. Basically, leave their foot like this and see if there's a slippage falling inwards like this. That would also indicate issues with the PCL.
Medial instability. Okay.
It's just like the anterior collateral ligament test or anterior collateral stress test. Same exact idea. Have your hand on both the lateral condyle and medial condyle.
Is this supposed to be down?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
Stress it this way, so I'm pushing inwards this way, and while my hand is pushing outwards. So laterally with my hand, medially with my body like this. You could go like this as well if you want, like that. To make it easier, I like to go like this way, and this way. So this would be lateral. This would be medial. But isn't the varus and valgus on there? Is that what it's called? Varus instability? Yeah.
Yeah.
So varus and valgus.
This one just says valgus stress test.
Yeah, but there's
Next
another
one.
one after that. That'll be, yeah.
Next
Yeah.
one is grind test.
Okay, so this is for
I have posterior drawer test.
meniscus, right? That's for meniscus, correct?
Sorry.
The grind test.
Yes,
Sorry, which
meniscus.
one is this one?
So basically, this hand is pushing this way,
Yeah.
and then this hand is pushing this way. You're squishing them together like this. And then you're winding. Making circles. And then go the other way. If you have any pops, clicks, pain, grinding, that's a positive test for the grind test. Right, Brandon? Yeah.
Sounds good.
Noble's test.
Noble's test. So find the lateral condyle. Right here. This is his lateral condyle. Go about 2 centimeters proximal this way. Press hard. You'll find it'll be like a very tight portion of that T-band right here, right there. And just get them to slowly straighten out the leg. If there's pain, that's a positive sign. So again, find the lateral condyle, about 2 centimeters proximal. Pin that IT band against the femur. Straighten out the leg. If there's pain, it's a positive test.
For IT contracture.
Yeah, for contractor, yeah.
Next is Morton's neuroma.
Okay, need your feet. Usually you do it sitting. Actually, I'll just get you sitting. And you're basically gonna grab hands like this, and you basically what you're doing with their toes, you're gonna squish them like this, like that. So from here, like that. So you're gonna go. If they get a sitting, any kind of pain, it's a positive sign for Morton's neuroma.
Always.
It needs to be neurological symptoms preferably, because sometimes people will have gout and they might think they have Morton's neuroma, but it's not. Or even bunion pain.
The next one is gastro venous. Leg test.
Gastrocnemius leg test. That's the.
What page?
88.
gastrocnemius strength or gastrocnemius length?
Length and soleus length.
Isn't it not done in prone? What does it have in your book? Prone or
It's
supine?
Mine is in
Supine,
seated
okay.
position.
Seated.
You could.
But you said laying in prone.
No, seated would be
supine.
The leg.
Seated would be soleus.
Yeah, see, it says supine.
Well, you got the gastrocnemius length and he's on prone.
in prone.
Sorry,
Supine,
supine.
supine.
You could do it in prone as well, but it's just might not
The
be that comfortable.
gastrocnemius strength is on prone. The gastrocnemius length is on supine.
Okay. Okay. So very simple. You want to get 20 degrees. Past
Mhm.
20 degrees even better.
That's length.
You're gonna have the exact same maneuver. You're gonna have your hand behind the calcaneus, and you're gonna have your hands on the plantar portion of the foot. Exact same maneuver for soleus, but just done sitting. So let's just do that one for the soleus length.
Sit up.
Yeah. So this one I think you tested positive for because we had issues with this one. So here I'm feeling a lot of resistance at 10 degrees already. Right here, resistance. I don't want to have much resistance. I can force it past 20 degrees, but the fact I'm feeling resistance right here, I would say yeah, he's positive for a tight soleus. Right here. We want to get at least 20. So see where my hands are? I think that's it.
That's it. That's all. That's all she wrote.
Congratulations.
Send it to me. Send it to me.
You got 3 months to
I gotta watch it 100 times.
What's that?
I said I gotta watch it 100
Did
times.
you get them all, or
I think so.
do you want me to go through the pages with you? or-
Same button for stopping.
Yeah. Thank you.